Hey everyone, welcome to Provider Spotlight. We are interviewing practices all over the United States. It's really fun. We learn something new every single time. People have the most amazing stories. We are in the business of telling folks stories. They're unique, they're exciting, and there's a reason why for everything. So today we have Kent Watts from Ellie Mental Health. Kent, welcome. We're excited to have you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will dive in. So, Kent, tell us a little bit about your background and a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My wife and I, we've been married for 35 years. Her name is Fleming. We're both pharmacists. We actually met in a pharmacy. I've been practicing pharmacy for, oh gosh, almost 40 years. I started out working a little bit for Walmart, but I have, for the most of my career, I've owned my own pharmacies. So I've done experienced pharmacy. I've done, we've had DME places, we've done nursing services. We've done diabetic counseling. We've done compounding. We've done oxygen hospital beds, just about everything you can do in the pharmacy practice. But what I enjoyed the most was the counseling. And we did mental health counseling from the medicinal side. We actually had a fair-sized counseling room, and we would schedule people to come in and we would talk to them about their health. And that's the part I really enjoyed more than the pharmacy part, actually. And I didn't realize that till I sold my last store in 2018 and retired. I traveled for a little while, but of course, and right after that, as everybody knows, went through COVID, and we
Yep.
were at the beach and went through Hurricane Sally, and we just had a kind of a rough time. And that coupled with my desire to spend some more time with my children who were living in Birmingham at the time, we started looking into something that we could do in Birmingham because I was extremely bored being retired, just not a retired type person. But mainly I miss people. I missed helping people. I missed interacting with people. And but after being my age and so long in the public, I didn't want a day-to-day job that I would have to do everything. I felt that was just too much for me. So I came across Ellie Mental Health. It was just I kept looking at companies and mental health kept coming up. I looked at about four different companies, and Ellie Mental Health, I really liked their ideas of transparency, honesty, authenticism, be real self. And then they were their main goal was to destigmatize mental health. So we went up there to Minnesota in the frigid north. It was cold. It was in January, a couple of years ago in January, actually. And it was like 10 below zero. There was snow and ice everywhere. And I thought, what crazy. But they had a little, like a meet and greet and a little buffet in a hotel. Very nice, very extravagant hotel. And I thought, man, these are the nicest people. They kept talking to us, and the president, everybody talked to us. Only later did I realize they were interviewing us also to see if we were the right fit for their company.
Sure.
And I guess we were because they invited us to join Elemental Health.
That's
So I don't know if you want me to go on further, but that's kind of
no,
that's my
that's
start.
awesome background. And what was, the real motivation behind opening Ellie? What did you feel like, was the calling in Birmingham? Like what really motivated you and said, this is the thing. This is really what we need to do right now.
Well, initially it was like I said, initially it was family, and then also, just me wanting to get involved in the community. But I didn't realize, and sometimes we don't realize things until we don't have them or we're not doing them.
Yep.
I didn't realize that I really enjoyed helping people that much, and I enjoyed counseling people, interacting with people, facilitating people to improve their health. And I think that's the pure motivation. Then when I saw Ellie and saw that's what they wanted to do, their main goal was to help their therapist and then help their clients. I thought, wow, if I can facilitate that without having to do it every day,
Yeah.
but I can still go in and talk to people, that's kind of a win-win for me. So that's really what it was.
No, it's amazing. I mean, people could surely use more mental health services in their life, and it's crazy to see, how many people are in need versus how many people are out there actually providing services. And I'm sure maybe that's somewhat of the case, in Birmingham. Um, can you speak to how many, in terms of how many therapists and kind of what the need is in Birmingham?
Oh wow. When we got here in Birmingham and really started looking into mental health,
Mhm.
I realized uh, that therapists were experiencing tremendous burnout because
Yeah,
they only had really had two really good choices. They could work for themselves, which
yeah,
gave them some freedom, but then they had to do their own billing, they had to do their own scheduling, they had to take care of the financial part. It was a lot of work. If they saw, say, 20 patients a week, it would be another 20 or 30 hours just supporting that.
yeah.
And you're going to get burnout doing that. The other side of it was working for a salary for like the government or nonprofit
Mhm.
or for a profit. And doing that, they had tremendous quotas they had to meet. And again, they suffered burnout because they weren't really being supported.
Yeah.
So I had really no idea of the qualifications of these therapists. I've just been impressed with them and amazed of the schooling they go through, and then the tremendous. Every state's different, but I think in Alabama it's like 4,300 hours of internship or practical, experience, and I mean, they're coming out just almost like physicians, really, in some ways more qualified.
Yeah.
But the need down here was so great. I can't remember the exact number, but in the whole state of Alabama, I think there's only 400 and something therapists in the whole state.
That's
Uh,
so
and
crazy.
and some of that's because it's just people don't realize what mental health is. They don't realize that they even need mental health. People, especially in the South, people's idea of mental health is more towards, medicinal therapy or, people running around, doing, crazy stuff. So that it's not really the idea that Ellie promotes. It's not the idea that, and I'm getting ahead of myself. I see.
No, this is amazing. I mean, there's such a need, and maybe you can talk a little bit about, Ellie Mental Health and how you think your approach is different and how that's been so
Okay.
helpful in diving into your population.
Okay, we'll kind of take up where I left off. So the need is great. We were nervous about not being able to fulfill that need. We thought we'd have clients, but we wasn't sure how to get the word out, and we wasn't sure we'd be able to find therapists.
Yeah.
So we did some outreach. We went to one of our local organizations just down the street from us, and they let us do an outreach. They had a big food festival, and it was amazing how many people stopped to talk to us, but it was mostly young people. The older folks would the older they were, the faster they would run by our van. It's like we were, had the old saying in my generation, we had cooties or something, so that's a little bit, it goes along with the stigma. And that goes along with, mental health is not just for people that need it, they say, but actually, Ellie's approach is that mental health is for everybody. Everybody has an issue. Everybody has a problem growing up. Everybody has a problem with their mother, their father, their friends, their sisters, their brothers, and everybody goes through hard times, especially after COVID.
Yeah.
That in itself is a whole another issue. Then we have PTSD. There's so many stressful jobs. Young people are under so much more stress because of just the news they see every day, the social media, the pressures there in school. So Ellie Mental Health realized that, but they also realized that their first job was to take care of the therapist. Because if you take care of the therapist, then they'll take care of the clients. And then they'll take care of the issues,
Yeah.
we'll start seeing change. So it's kind of, we had to look at it not from just a business point of view. It was either looked at from a business point of view or an altruistic, like, hey, we're just doing this to help people, help the community. We're going to do it for nothing. So we kind of took both of those and put it together to form a business model that supports our therapist and they support our clients. And so my challenge has been, of course, to understand and learn about mental health, but also learn about their world. And that's been very challenging. Therapists look at things very different than most people just because of what they've been through. They see so many different things. They're taught, different types of therapy. They're taught ways to lead people to a conclusion on their own. In other words, I don't come there and tell you what to do. They'll talk to you and kind of lead you to, hey, maybe I need to stop doing this, or I not stop hanging around with that person, or whatever it is. And so that was amazing to me. That was just amazing, that approach. And so it allows me to interact with my clinic director. I hired a clinic director,
Mhm.
and her job is to support her therapist. And we have now hired 8 therapists, well, seven, 8, including her. And like I said, we had an official, soft opening in July 1st, and we really didn't get started to probably September 1st. So we're progressing rapidly, but that again shows the need.
Yeah, I mean, to really kind of get started more or less in the almost in the fall and have such an uptick in, you're hiring a bunch of people, it just shows right there what a need there is. And you're fulfilling that need, and you're also doing it with a great culture in mind and taking care of, the people that are working there to not just better them, but to also better serve the people that are in need. And so I think you're solving really two problems at once,
Yeah.
which is great. Um, if you could say, Kent, one thing that you either wish people knew about Ellie Mental Health or just mental health services, what would you say that is? Like, what do you wish people like really, really deeply knew?
One word. That's tough for me. One word. I could give you one paragraph easily. Um, Probably education
Yeah.
would be the word, really, because our therapists are highly educated in all areas of therapy, and our goal is to put together a team with a not only diverse background, but also a diverse experiences, and diverse specialties. They can all specialize in different areas. And so what we need to educate people, again, education is that, like I said before, it can be, Ellie Mental Health is for depression, anxiety, marital issues, family issues, on up to PTSD and on up to more severe bipolar and chronic issues. So what we are kind of, I like to think we are, in a way, the gatekeeper. Our goal is to get people in there, help evaluate them, help do therapy. And if it's something we deem it more severe, we pass them to other professionals. If they need medicine, we pass them on to psychiatrists. And then the other side of that is we want to see these people, once they're regulated on their medicines, we want to see them on the way back. We want to help them assimilate back into society, because it's kind of, and I think even, well, I know I've talked to several psychiatrists, and I think they're starting to realize that medicine alone doesn't do it. It needs therapy too. And sometimes therapy alone is not enough. Sometimes it takes medicine, but it's not necessarily either or. And it's more so people that are on medicine still almost always need therapy too, behavioral therapy.
No, I think that's amazing. I mean, you can go into the ends of the earth, in all different ways, and figuring out what mental health is, what types of, different modalities, a therapist can bring to the table to help you emerge from whatever traumas you've had in the past. And I think it's just great that you've really supported your therapist. You came such a unique and fun background to really aid in this success and helping your community and helping the therapists that live in your community. And so I really commend you, Kent. I think this is an
Thank you.
awesome story. I'm really glad that we brought you on today to learn a little bit more about Ellie Mental Health. And before we sign off for today, can you tell folks where they can find Ellie Mental Health online, where they can find your practice, and where they might be able to learn more?
We're everywhere.
Everywhere. It's everywhere.
Was Ellie Mental Health Mountain Brook on Google, Facebook, and Instagram. And I think we may be even on Yelp. Like I said, we're spreading out. And then the easiest way, we have a website, but it's kind of long. The easiest way is probably just do elliementalhealth.com and then just type in Mountain Brook, Birmingham. And our page will come up. It's tied into the elliementalhealth.com page.
Awesome. That's terrific. So folks, if you're watching and you are interested in, getting some more information, there are definitely a lot of resources out there for you. And Kent, I want to thank you so much for being here, telling us your story and being so open with us. And we hope to have you on again very soon.
Thanks. It's been fun.